gets touched for a while. You gotta have it connected to the road. I mean, there's funds that you have to, and the sooner you identify, the only problem is you're gonna run into the other bid is that the market, we respond to the oil industry. Oil goes up, boom, it causes the bid prices to go. But the intention is to get them all done anyway.
Yeah, they're all still on the list. There's not to say that, you just have to supplement the difference to make them all happen.
Yeah. At this point, those people there in Dilly and that area, they'll never get another chance to get it done. It's good. It's good. So don't take it away from them. I mean, it's really good.
So right now, all the utilities are cleared for this phase that we're doing now. I believe the other one's already almost done too, I believe the last one. So we'll be on schedule, and it's gonna happen. And we do have a timeline with TxDOT to spend the money and do everything. So this one is 70 working days on schedule. That's what they have allotted in the contract.
That's including rainy days.
70 working days.
That's including the rainy days.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Ya no
Who's the one that
Yeah, it's
built
a
them roads over there by
5-day
your
work,
decks?
5-day work.
Ya no hay rainy
Who
days.
built them roads?
So that's been the biggest pushback
Lo
we've been
camino
seeing
para
from
para Star
contract.
Club, ¿quién hizo esos?
And I get it right now.
They went out of business.
Ah,
They went out of business.
Who did?
sure.
He was asking for core.
But it
Oh,
was,
no,
just, it was just the Silco, no? The Silco.
You don't want them here.
Yeah.
Court.
So the contractor we're talking about here is the same one that did the city streets on Pole Street?
He's right,
And they did the drainage as
They did the
well.
drainage for the south, for the drainage structure here by Martinez Park. They've done this work, they've done work in town a while, they understand the locals, they understand the services, they understand all the issues that can come up, so.
Yeah, so right now we would need a motion to accept phase one pricing.
And submit all the documents to TxDOT.
Okay, on the pricing, I want to ask that question again. It's supposed to be lower, but because of the asphalt is more expensive?
So the asphalt unit line, if you look at the unit prices that were in front of you, the hot mix was a lot higher than what was estimated. Same thing with the concrete.
But that's not our fault.
The other one that kind of has a big influence is the water lines.
Yeah.
And when we were, PVC shot through the roof right now, so it's been a big problem, you know,
Everything is oil-based.
everything.
Mostly, it's gotta be oil-based.
So just for your all's knowledge, in this estimate, we have allotted some budget for additional services that are gonna be replaced likely because they're gonna be shallow. So there's an allotment of utility relocations that are probably likely to happen.
So how many mileage is that gonna be
2.
on Sal's construction management? On phase one? 2 miles?
All salvage materials, stuff like to the yard.
Any idea how much it's gonna cost per mile?
So
Well, you got curb, you got the manhole, curb and gutter.
we have 14,500 linear feet of curb, well,
It's gonna be a flat curve, no? Like a top flat?
with square yards, we have 42,000 square yards of asphalt, multiplied by 9, that's how many square feet.
So you got,
About 3 miles.
So you look, you're
It's the same exact amount that we had estimated.
no, I mean in a mile,
but
plus a little bit more.
you got 8 inches of subgrade, 8 inches of flex base, and then 2 inches of the top coat.
Yeah, the city streets, we have 2 inches of hot mix. in front of it.
Hard mix.
So
And
you got
8 inches of
basic-
flex base is like.
Basically, you got 18 inches total.
Good stuff.
Keep in mind that we're using the method called reclamation. Mr. Doleo, remember years ago, I helped work on some of the city streets, Gulf Street, you know, the ones in this area. We did that method of reclamation where they recycle what's there. The reason we want to do that in some of these areas is because the material is good. We can recycle that, cement treat it, and it becomes a very, very solid base.
That's what I was gonna ask, keep that same one, ¿verdad?
Same methods, and that's gonna be a little different on the other phases, because like the area you're talking about in Dilly, the Caliche roads right now, they may not have full depth thickness that we need, so we'll have to reconstruct those.
And we have any more, you must say.
Yeah.
All right. So we would need a motion to accept the low bid. Salle Construction Management LLC for the County Road Improvement Project Phase 1.
I don't like those companies, but what can I do?
I haven't met Salle.
They did the drainage in the park.
Well, because everybody fell through the hole and complained to you.
They didn't put barricades where they were supposed to be. At all.
But it works. The water goes out.
Number 23,
The
what's
water
it?
will
Hay
come.
bale.
I'm sorry?
Number 23, ¿qué es eso?
23
The hay bales.
hay bales, so at
Para
all the
los
curb
cows or
limits,
what?
we gotta protect the curb
Para la basura.
limits.
Ojo, pega para la vaca.
Hay bales.
These are the textile forms that
Son
you
los
can
cuadros.
All right.
sign, and I'll submit all of
Okay,
that.
who made the motion?
Nobody
Nobody
yet.
yet.
Nobody
Don't
else?
want to.
Just complain about Sal.
I'm complaining
So no
about
sé si
Sal.
quiere a Sal.
Rebeat it or what?
You're gonna lose the grant, you're gonna run out of time.
No, well.
Repeat it, repeat his.
You're gonna run out of time.
We're always stuck saying yes. Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second.
But first do Saltillo Street.
Okay, because all the holes on Saltillo,
That's the textile form.
because they just did a lot of work on the lines on Saltillo. so you-
They're right.
You see a hole, yeah?
They're right in my house. I didn't have no water all day.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed,
So you spend a lot of money.
Sí, ahí la llevan. They're doing good.
Those are the forms that I'm sending with it, the certifications. I'll get you a copy of the form.
tampoco tuvieron la decisión de agarrar.
Nomás quería más tiempo, pero también no me dejan.
Se me van a rajar y se van a...
Pero de verdad que no era. Se van a ir.
All right, discussion possible action to approve brokers' price opinion and submit offer letters to each landowner for temporary easements on all Text.5 drainage structures for Category 6 project, which is Brinsap, right?
Yeah, that's the category 6 funding.
No, you know, Jack.
So part of the exercise with TxDOT on the agreement with the county was the county was gonna fund one of the bridges in Credit and with that, the state funded 5 bridge locations. The county's obligation in that agreement is for the county to acquire the temporary easements for each structure. So we'll start with, there's 5 structures, there's 2 on Valley Wells, 1 on Elm, which is Alarcant. The other one's at El Jardín at the Frio River, and then Cochina at one of the draws that's there. Well, each one of these, Texas proposing a temporary bypass to be constructed while the structure's being under construction. So they're gonna bypass the traffic off to one side. If you look at what I provided you, it shows a map. The county hired a broker to give us an estimated amount that it would cost for them to get a temporary easement. This is not acquiring the right of way or land. This is just temporarily utilizing it for construction. Now, his actual price came back at less than $750 an acre per year. That's what the value came back at, because it is just temporary lease. And he gave a summary. This gentleman does a lot of work for TxDOT. This is very similar to what he does. He's estimating for $7.50 per acre. Each tract of land, I'll give you an example. the one on Alarcant, we're only gonna utilize 0.55 acres, and that survey is included in your packet. So if you do the math, that's gonna be less than $750 for a year. But he does give a recommendation to give an economic adjustment to each landowner. So the county has the right, I spoke to TxDOT, I've been talking to them every other week, to offer, to get these jobs moving, offer each landowner a certain dollar amount that you're comfortable with for these temporary easements. They'll have 30 days to review and/or they can sign it. What's important about this is that they had promised to move forward and bid this job in May. Tomorrow, they'll get the bids from statewide contractors. There's bids coming in tomorrow for all 5 structures.
But, I mean, each bridge has a different scenario because it's different depth, different terrain. But I'll pick an example, for example, La Cochina. When they go work over there and they're gonna have to remove the fences, the county may have to, because we've done in the past, is clear brush so the water will flow in and out, a little bit in, one way or the other. We've had to do that before, but as long as it's reflected in the agreement. I mean, yeah, they get an easement, they might get $750, but they end up having a new barbed wire fence right there. They also end up having to clear the brush because the water has to flow through.
How much are you gonna be getting?
It's whatever y'all decide. Right now, the broker's opinion is $7.50 per acre. So we do half of that. That's what the offer, what he's saying is what's on paper. That's what his study shows.
Some of the landlords will say, do the bridge for free, like the blow check will say, hey, we want to see it
They
fixed.
can donate.
But others said, no, I don't want nobody going through my property, and then you can go back and condemn them, but
You're gonna lose out on the fund.
sometimes as a commissioner, you work with them and say, you know what? We'll clean a little bit of it out, kind of.
How about that river? Do we get a permit to do on the site?
What do you mean?
On the river, Frio?
We still, this is gonna give us permission to go.
These are all of them. There's all-
This gives Jorge the permission to go and talk to them.
So right now, they haven't received any offers, so this is where we provide an offer to each landowner in writing, and by law, they have 30 days. They can
So
contest.
when you go to Mark, they have us a Raul.
Actually, Raul is one of the landowners.
I
of
have to
Cochina.
abstain.
So he's gonna
Well,
have.
he's
to
there free.
abstain.
He might do it free, right?
No, but over here on,
Oh, yeah, on his, on El Jardín.
on the bridge.
So,
todos.
on El Jardín,
Porque también te quiere mucho.
it's,
Give me a pa.
the Bochek and the Martin family.
I can't vote on this, pero I don't want them to knock down my privacy.
So the
But I
brokers
mean-
did say, there's an economic adjustment, they're gonna be removing trees, yes, they're gonna replace your fence with similar fence of the same size.
¿Se lo van a dejar caída?
¿A cuál no hay?
But I can tell you,
¿Se lo van a dejar caída?
Por favor, no quiero damage, pero van a tumbar el bypass and you can see inside the ranch. So I would like something top out.
and that's where the economic adjustment can be made by the county, to say, look, we know we're gonna damage each property in addition to what, I'll give you an example, Alarcant, the gentleman has 2 fences, and he's saying he's got a stock tank that he's gonna be impacted. So I can tell you right now, out of all the bridges, I feel like that one may not be the quickest. So what TxDOT did is they required in the contract August 1st start date for all of them, but they're only gonna do one at a time. So they've asked me to meet with the landowners after the county decides and prioritize an order. This one for sure, this one, put this one at the end. In anticipation that if one guy doesn't want to agree, and counter, or we have to go to condemnation, we had that time.
So, but you're still starting on the 6th one already.
That one's already started design, yes, sir.
You already started that one. So we got the other 5.
Yeah, no, this is to be in compliance with the TxDOT agreement that was signed, you're not.
So start on the Elm Creek first.
So Elm Creek's the one that I don't know if he'll sign it. Like, once we get this approval today with whatever the dollar amount y'all feel comfortable with, I don't know if he'll sign it. And he may not, but we'll have to work through that. That's part of the exercise.
Who's that, Jorge?
George Geiser. He's from out of town, but we met with him several times. He's given us a ride in the entire ranch and shown us what he's done and how it impacts him. And he's not, in other words, the whole point of this is we're replacing the bridges that are never gonna get done otherwise. It's the state's paying for them. with this equivalent match. This is the first time we get an opportunity in a long time to just make sure we get it done, but at the end of the day, it's up to them.
Es que I miss keep pieces from it, knock them down.
Well,
I got some big pieces, and that's what
but that's fine, I mean,
So that's okay, I mean, I can't vote on it.
no, I mean, just abstain and then,
I'm gonna abstain.
I'll make sure it all gets cleaned up so everybody can see it.
Ahí está mi tío Blaine, ahora no es
En todo rancho.
Sí.
So, I guess the question is the dollar amount. And I'd say make it straight across, make it easy, everybody the same, because this $7.50 is not realistic. I believe, in my opinion, but it's y'all's decision.
It's 1 acre, I mean, they're gonna give me $70.
It's actually, I'll give you an example, on that one, Cochina, and it's in your packet. El Jardín, there's 4 different landowners.
You're gonna have to prorate it, George, for the replacement of the fence at market price.
So the TechStop in their price, in their plans already is replacing those fences. Like, that's
Okay.
already in.
Okay, so the fence is already being done.
They're being accounted for. What's not being accounted for is the trees and they said they have temporary road that they want to use, because that's one of the things that came up. He's like, I have a temporary road, so I can check security, I want it again.
It's 100
So,
feet,
those are little things that they see.
no cuesta nada, 100 feet.
The Waits family is 0.64 acres. WMP is 0.48.
You mean?
Cochina is 0.49, that's what that was.
Why don't you reach out to all of them and get their price? And then we bring them all together and then we answer.
Well, the
Together.
way I understand it, according to the Texas Real Estate Group, is we have to send an offer. They have 30 days to respond, accept, or counter.
Those are the cheapest people there is, take that.
Okay.
And if they want a letter for a donation, that they donate it instead, that's another option they have.
Yeah.
But I just need a dollar amount to put in the offer letters, for even certified mail, send it.
750.
So you're offering each $750?
No.
$7.
$7.50 is what the broker is
For
paying.
por un acre a
So
year.
that's $3.50 on average.
Mira, porque aquí
That's what he's charging to do the.
Te está robando, no quiere pagar nada.
well, he's charging us $750, but he's only saying $7?
If we had hired an appraiser, it would have been $3,000 per parcel, like a licensed appraiser. This was the route that would save the county money, so this is why we go with the broker, not an actual appraiser. Appraisal would have been $3,000 per parcel, and we're doing it for $750.
Per parcel.
That was to do the appraisal. for the appraisal.
Son 3 parcels.
So yeah, I'll give you his packet so you can see it. This is what he charges, and then you'll see his summary of what he's estimating per, and then all, and there's a copy of the surveys that we sent.
I don't know, 750.
Remember, it says .48 acres, that's only $3 and,
Yes.
75
That's why,
cents.
when he told me that, I was
It's
like,
not even worth the paperwork.
it's not even worth the appraisal, but we have to do it by law, we have to follow the procedures.
Ahora it's up to the commissioners if she quieren dar más. I can't.
My goal is just to get it done. I want the bridges to be done, or otherwise we lose the opportunity.
Yeah, they need to be built, pero.
Mr. Waits, have you talked to him
Yeah, they've all called me, they're just waiting for the paperwork to come out.
in the morning and the afternoon?
It was in the morning.
I mean,
Most everybody's excited about it, but there's just something they're asking a lot of questions that I feel like they're gonna be a little difficult.
People, my question is my brush. No tengo y no me lo van a tumbar.
I mean, something small, I mean,
Whatever y'all comfortable with, that's
it's not gonna be a lot of money, you get 5. I mean, $500,
per parcel.
yeah, for each little parcel.
¿Qué tanto monte te va a tumbar?
¿Me dan $3?
See?
Mejor no go around somewhere else. Pero I can't vote.
No,
¿Qué es lo que quieres?
No te puedo decir.
I mean,
I can't answer that.
We just wanna get it done, that's the goal, so.
Pues no me.
So August 1st is when they'll start, and they're gonna start based on who's more receptive to signing.
I do 500.
Okay. I just, we vote on it and just, get it
How much is that, Judge?
500.
per parcel.
Per parcel.
Every-
For each side, for each side.
Allow.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
There's 4 sites.
the owner, I mean, like, Latus has 4 sides, so the Mars would get 500, 500, 500, is 1,500. The projects would get 500. Raul would get 500, the other side would get 500, I don't know about
They
the
can't do
others.
nothing on the other side, no?
It's all on
¿Cuánto lo
your,
van a dar?
Pero dice aquí,
Sometimes it's only one side.
porque aquí pusieron 3C, esa,
just to be clear, there will not be an acquisition, this is temporary. It will get filed at the clerk's office once the agreements come in, but it's not,
But his is a bridge that's been identified by the state, so we have to deal with it. It's already been rated by the state, so it's not your deal, Raul.
and they can't close it in that situation because there's no alternative route.
what about the wall?
At 500?
No, la pared, we're gonna meet him. You know, those big wrenches, they're gonna knock down my monkey. And what's in, how many feet? 40 feet? From the fence
Yours
to my sendero.
is 488 feet total length
Pero
along your fence.
with,
Width is only 45, 42 feet.
bueno, van a llegar a
So
mi,
50 feet.
van a llegar al dam del tanque, lo van a tumbar. Y luego ya se va a mirar el deer blind y ya.
Ah, mira todo el rancho
Lo
después.
alcanza así.
You can plant a lot of trees.
We'll plant some trees.
Plywood.
Tengo puros hackberries ahí, oaks. We're gonna buy those.
38 oaks.
Puros mezquites, pero they're old mezquites. Vale mucho la leña, ¿verdad?
We'll put bulletin boards.
So that these, whatever dollar it is, will be an initial offer, and then hopefully they agree or they counter.
Maybe they'll offer more,
I
yeah.
have to come back to Commissioner's Court if they're different, and
Or something out acá after Commissioner's Court. Well, next.
Well, we have to decide, so our,
Pues dijo,
I would say, make a motion to, offer $500 per parcel to each landowner for temporary easements on all text dot 5 drainage structures for the category 6 bridges, which is the Brinsap. I mean, you can do,
even though if I can't vote,
no, but you don't
I have
vote.
to accept it.
You can't vote, I'll make the motion at 500.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
I think.
Abstain, one abstain. All right, now your change order number 2, Anderson, Columbia.
So in Anderson, Columbia, the project at Valley Wells, we've had discussions to increase the linear footage. We're using the old SMB plans for an additional approximately 2,600 linear feet from the current project limits. And we're restricted to a 25% change in total contract, which equates to about $500,000 that we're allowed. They can be added as a change to the contractor and extend the project limits. So the short version is, we're extending the limits of the job, adding more paving. There's no drainage structures in that segment. There's a couple of driveways that we'll deal with. But that would extend the project with the existing plans that the county paid for to SMB over a year and a half ago. And that dollar amount, what I'm looking for the county, if you decide to add that to the job, is a dollar amount not to exceed $500,000. What's important to note is that in that cost, there's a unit price that the contractor will be entitled to increase a unit price, and it'll be for the asphalt, the concrete, and the base. So talking to them preliminarily, they're not increasing more than 5% on each item, but that would still get the entire 2,600 linear feet additional road on that project. So what we're looking, if the county does want to increase that project limits, it's just an approval of a change order for that dollar amount, and then we'll get the length of what that covers. And that's more or less what you're going to see, 2,600. I have not received the change order from them yet, because I want to make sure we establish a dollar amount. And it'd be that plus days.
So how many feet is that in half a mile?
It's an additional half mile for the fire. That's pretty much the same that we've seen over the last 5 years, same price. It's usually a million per mile, $1.2 million per mile. I get it. The only reason it's not as expensive is because we don't have any drainage structures in that segment. And what's to the benefit is you have an existing set of plans that are signed and sealed that we're gonna just be able to provide.
But how about if I want to do the whole 8 miles?
We could do that too.
We don't got the money.
Oh, yeah, too.
You know,
There's a lot of money right now, we're all talking about all that money, there's gotta be money somewhere.
that's
Somewhere.
why, that's why, even on this 500,000, that's why we asked Jorge to see how much, so the bond money's gone, there's some certs, there's some monies due back and due to, and there's some other funds that have some balances, figure out how far that goes, and then it's done.
So,
It's done. I wouldn't say yes or no, but it depends, we gotta get those numbers from Jorge. He just gave me the budget analysis yesterday to look at,
Yeah, because
to look at.
if we do that little piece, I mean, then you wanna do it all, I mean.
But that's why I mentioned when we were covering with David, I mean, there's some projects that you wanna finish, because you've already done the engineering all the way across. You're not saying no, but, it's already toward the tail end that you just gotta make sure you don't get obligated, so you gotta make sure the money's there. When I say due tos, due from, when he says we have this money outstanding, Carl just submitted the reimbursement safer grant for 500,000. He's gonna submit for another $1 million that we hadn't been reimbursed in 3 years, so they'll get that money in. So sometimes it shows on money you got books, but it's still outside, está prestado. So I wanna make sure that there's enough money, we're not saying no, but let's make sure there's enough money to cover the, the 500,000.
and the only thing I'll say on that is the schedule right now, the contractor's almost done with the last structure. Once he's done with that, they're gonna mobilize all the equipment to pave, and they are gonna do it all at once. And so that's gonna move a lot quicker, so if we do table it for whatever reason, it would have to be at the next meeting before, otherwise we may run out of time, and then they may charge us.
Because this is a separate pool of money, this is the bond fund. On the Brinsap, which is the road bridge, remember, those were the matching funds from y'all's department that we took away. So you're coming up with almost 200,000 you gotta pay out of your funds for the bridges, and you gotta make sure there's enough money in the other funds, otherwise we're gonna eat your budget out completely. And like I said, I know there's some funds, like the lateral road fund hasn't been hit, there's some other funds that have some monies, and we kind of talk about what project, because at the same time, he has the same problem on Holland Dam Road, you did the engineering, and you just don't want to let it sit there. So as soon as you find a pool of money of what we have now, then you get that bid out so you don't lose that work, otherwise,
Yeah, if
It gets
you don't do
done.
this now, you're gonna run the risk of having to re-engineer it at a later date, and, that money goes down. So like you're saying, you'd like to do all of it, if there's a way to do it, I recommend it while it's still needed.
yeah. Valley Wells got engineered first with Chris Hinojosa. And then Abel at the last time, and then you came in, and then you got it. So if it sits too long, the numbers change because of the motor grader, the pricing, and rain events, that you gotta get it engineered again, and you have to pay all over again.
Just like right now, Texas doing 2 structures in that limit that are also on those set of plans. We're already gonna have to cut those out, because they're doing an improvement there and matching.
So we're not saying no, we're not saying yes, we're saying, let's look at those balances from Jorge, we really need to meet with Jorge and see where we're at, and if that's the case,
So, but in this case, I need to say yes right now, so they can cease doing that.
well, we can get an answer real quick, if I could sit Jorge down for 2 hours, we could say, if there's enough funding, yes, we'll go for it, if there's enough money.
And there's
enough
time,
funds-
if you were to make it subject to, and give that time, give a day or 2 to look at that. In the meantime, I'm still gonna get the pricing officially from them, and if the answer is yes, and you confirm it, we'll move it forward. It'll be approved subject to that.
Okay, I guess we'll wait then.
So,
You can't wait, I couldn't wait.
no, you can wait a week.
And then there's another meeting next week, you're still
No,
in
it's not
time.
raining, you can't work on it.
I just don't want to wait too long and have an issue where they'll try mobilization. That's where then it doesn't make sense. The only reason it makes sense now, because they're there right now.
All you gotta do is accept them.
And then you have to kind of put them on notice, so. A week, table it for a week, no issue.
Which bridge is this?
Este
Belleville?
¿Ah?
Dale,
Pero
vos.
un poquito más,
¿Qué?
un pegadito que quieren pegarle más.
Oh, del puente, más largo.
De ahí a Calascat.
Oh, ok. O más ancho.
I mean, I would say approve it pending there's sufficient funds without having to borrow from anybody else. I mean, there's sufficient funds in the
I'll
remaining,
start working on the numbers.
in the remaining balances.
Where do you get the money from, the road and bridge side? Like on the bridges?
Oh, some of the bridges,
The bypasses are.
you know, and looking at the county, like I looked at some of the numbers at Mito, and he did a lot of work to Cameron Road. And some of those things that he spent out of his budget should have come out of the Cameron Road monies that were there. So in essence, Cameron Road, I haven't looked at, but probably owes you a couple $100,000 to your general fund, I mean, to your fund. So I've been through a lot of those, let me go through those, I'll get them to Jorge, and we'll look at it. Remember we were talking about that we had set some money, and I was saying Prince Road wasn't a budget, wasn't budgeted. So instead of having to do all that money back and forth, I said, let me look at how this other fund, and you stay where you're at, you stay where you're at, and try to satisfy everybody. It makes it easier on everybody. Because it just passes as buck all the way around. So I'd say pending, you know, clearance from,
So it'll be an approval subject to that, and then, are we gonna come back, or do we just move it forward and it approves at that point?
no, pending approval confirmation on Jorge, I need to sit down with him,
Okay.
Move it forward from there, right? As long
Yeah.
as- Yeah.
and you go from there. So I would say yes, motion to approve it pending confirmation
Second.
from Jorge.
So you need a motion or a second?
You make the
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
Second.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Number 18,
So this is related to 17. Essentially, we had 4 months budgeted, and I know we're at 6 months already in with the last change they got for time. We're fine with that. That's not an issue. If it does extend another 2 months for this, we're just asking if there's any way we can reimburse some of the monthly inspection services that are required for the job while it's under construction. That's all that is. But it's got to be subject to number 17. If that doesn't go through, then there's no reason.
all right, so, I mean, these are related services to the construction management, right?
Yeah, it just adds 2 more months to work with, if it does approve.
So it'd be a motion to authorize the extension of time,
On number 17.
construction time and construction management services should,
17.
Valley Wells TxDOT project, additional half-mile, proceed.
I make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Falta one on the first page,
Is that 18?
which
17, 18.
is
Number 6.
number 6.
Actually, need your signature on this,
Huh?
text dot signature.
Look, I only got a couple copies. I thought I made more, but he printed blanks. Reggie? Marty, you making some?
¿Cuáles son? ¿Estos dos?
Yeah, you want to, one? Yeah, that's about 4.
This is related to the category 6 notification.
I'm gonna go to, Webb County on Monday.
To the Commissioner's Court?
Yeah, on this,
Really?
yeah.
I'll give her a copy so you can put it in the record.
5,
5-4.
because they closed that one bridge that did not go without going through the full procedure.
You're gonna
And
testify?
it's a Brent Sap bridge, yeah, well, explain it to them.
Chihuahua.
Explain how it works, because they're not going after those funds.
They don't know how it works.
They're not going after those funds.
Yeah, correct.
Sure.
It's your original.
And then also on the solar abatement, they want to find out what we did over here.
Solo carros.
Yeah.
Have you seen on Gulf Street behind your mom's house, the house with the solar panels?
Huh?
Behind your mom's house, the house with solar panels?
Yeah. Acá
Uh,
dan.
yeah.
Aquí Martín también tiene. Solar panel en la casa here.
Oh, see?
This is what we approved with the ranchers 3 weeks ago. Then I put it in the form, and I'm bringing it back to you to see if you want to add anything to it before we let it out to them.
On the bailouts?
On the bailouts.
Pero esta es la forma plena.
You want to add it to it? Mira, the county roads, we own the land, we're owners. Farm to market, the county bought. We actually bought the farm to market and the highway. All of those were acquired through combination. Remember we covered on the valley roads that we had to pay out of your funds and all that? That means along the fence we can fix, anywhere inside we can. But one of the things that happened is that 95% of your taxes get paid by the oil. And if you don't give them something back, when you go out for a bond election, do you want something else? Se te van a voltear. So you give them something back, they're happy. You know, put this out, I sent it to Phil, Lion said, came pick it up. And said, I'm glad you did this, well, I'm gonna take it, but I don't know if we're gonna do it. But they just wanted to see that you were responding to them. That's what they wanted to see, huh?
This is what your attention is.
So they wanted the attention. So I don't know if they're gonna want to do it, but you give them the opportunity, but they gotta be the landowner. And instead of looking up the deed, I put there where they put the number from the CAD, the parcel number, from the CAD, that shows ownership. That way you don't have to do the whole deed. So the sheriff would have it, they do the incident report, they take the pictures before, they fill out as much as they can, they give it to the rancher, they get it fixed or call you out to help them fix it. And then submit it. Well, I said, y'all can help them fix it if you want. Remember Jerry Cox wanted you to help? Did you help Jerry Cox?
Who? Jerry? Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But we should have one of these filled out.
That was just wasn't the gate.
We should have one of these filled out, that way they give it to the DA, and they prosecute, these are damages they recover. And it's documented.
So we do more copies this week.
Yeah, we get more, but just, if you feel we need to change something, add it and we'll do it. But I think they just wanted to be heard out.
Yeah, fence damages, unless they're running to your barn.
Have we got any complaints? No?
No? No, but I think they just wanted to be heard out, I mean, and so, you know, what else can you do? So if you have any, think about it, get it back to me, I'll make the changes. But for now, we'll put this out. And the sheriff made some recommendations, and I put them in there. Mile markers, and they'll, all the documents will be filed with the sheriff's office, because they have the incident report. And that should help. Have you all had anybody get these? I think they just wanted to be heard out.
They don't bluff.
So with that, we'll go to the bills.
No action needed on that one, right?
No. We'll go to the minutes, reports, and payroll and bills. Huh? What was it, addendum?
Ya le hicimos, amito.
¿Qué?
Yeah, we did his.
We already did.
Ah, lo más falta.
ID, they already did it.
Mira,
We got mito.
aquí falta el local agreement for the fireman.
The CD, the ID. For law enforcement, I got.
What?
The form that Joel just did.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this.
I got it under sheriff.
No, no, no. What number is that, Raúl?
Give me one.
O el otro.
Addendum. Give me one.
That's it.
So, the interlocal agreement is the agreement for the two officers? For City Couture? I mean. For the K-9? For the K-9?
It's over here.
It's just an addendum to use a dog?
Yes, that the school was gonna provide the funds to purchase the dog, through the school, and we're just gonna provide all the maintenance for the dog to include vet visits, food, housing, anything else that's included into that. And the school, provided the entire funds to pay for the training and for the,
What's the dog for, everything?
for narcotic.
For the
narcotic
school?
addiction, yes. But, primary duties will be school, but we still will utilize them on patrol as well, as needed throughout the day or night.
Who's gonna have the dog?
Deputy Victor Alvarado, he's one of the SROs.
Just a while back, they caught kids with drugs, and they didn't do anything to them. Why are we gonna feed a dog, and they're not gonna do anything to the kids or the parents?
For the incident that happened not too long ago,
I don't know, I just heard that somebody had got caught in school and it was drugs, and they didn't.
there was an arrest on that. There was an arrest on that, for the narcotic count. And that was location school as well.
So, they're gonna pay for the dog and everything else, and do y'all retain ownership of the dog, or is there a provision that, should something happen to the agreement, that you can buy the dog, that way you don't have a dog that's trained?
Yes, it'll be something like $1 that we'll have to, pay, and it'll go all the way up till either we retire the dog or something else happens to the dog, that the dog's no longer performance duty.
Okay. Commissioners?
I'll make the motion to approve the interlocal agreement.
It'd be approve the amendment to the interlocal agreement.
On the addendum.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve, amendments to the interlocal agreement between the city, the Katura ISD and County of LaSalle. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. ¿Qué más falta? Just the payroll reports and minutes.
Because number 2 on this one, you discussed it acá.
Eres you?
Number 2, we got it in the budget amendments.
Okay.
Number 2, we got in budget amendments. And we got March 28th regular meeting, which was one item, and then April 11th,
Yes, April 11th to March 20th.
A minute. All right,
Y'all get it?
I have it down.
Yeah, everybody should be done.
Approved minute. I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
The George delivery?
¿Eso qué?
George Trigo.
No, George.
Second.
No. Pero. But I think you need to do some work on Cristo Rey, so you do talk to him.
Los Father's Day, compadre.
Oh, sí,
Pues ya, you better start cleaning.
mañana. Mucho jalí, no tengo 3 trabajadores. ¿Tienes? Ayúdame.
Así. Tell me when and where. Listo, mañana, güey.
For what?
On the minute, I have a motion in a second, and I have a vote.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
¿Cuál es este? Chichis?
This is the property of Miguel Vasquez,
Oh,
but I think he should have a place to dump, and he needs to show us where the water lines will be,
okay.
and he,
You know what you
pero,
sell?
but this just gives you an idea, it came out real light, I'll try to give you a darker copy. That way,
How much acres? I mean, no miro,
it's two acres, pero está bien light. Está bien light.
¿De quién es este camino? Correcto.
Dice García, pero es San García.
No, es Harper. Es para
¿Es para él?
sí.
¿Pero es del easement? ¿O es para él?
No, Luis no tiene isla, pero le go bien porque tienen años que años. García, se llama se llama- no, es de Harper, pero el viejito Harper. Y pues acá también es de Harper. O Harper hizo la cerca, pero él es el de él también. Pero hay que maintener.
¿No puedes?
Me habló que si podía poner el carro para atrás, si queda, pero low, fácil. Pero pues ahora sí, pues, y no olviden a me brinca a mí. Pero dice you were gonna start me from pero de bien que van a dar 3 allá. Ajá, otra muella. Y luego vino la señora, no oí que
¿Quién era?
no, no puedo decir que Luis dijo que tirara el 3 en su puerta, en el sitio que era pedir. Mentira, no lo voy a decir.
¿Quién era?
So you're doing the bills right now, right?
No, we're still, we gotta do motions and seconds on the minutes. The report.
We already passed the vote.
The report también.
No, nomás faltan los reports.
The reports, we're missing some of them. I didn't know if you all wanted to table it since they have until the 6th and today's the 4th.
Pues we can table the reports for the next meeting.
I make
Because
the
not
motion-
everybody has turned them in yet.
I make the motion to table the reports to the next meeting.
Second.
I'll get Jorge to get better copies of Cristo Rey edition.
So we're good on the old one?
No, pero remember for the addition, we told him to figure out how many lots, how many plots.
Okay.
And then we still need to have that meeting of the board of,
Why is, just because Mr. Abuelo passed, why is there a stop to it? I agree.
because the Chesapeake Company